Hey everyone, Josh with Royal Treatment here. Tonight we're going to tie up one of my favorite flies. It's called the Mic Drop. It's a Euro Nymph tied with a green thread body, gold wire rib, and an orange hot collar. This thing produces for me everywhere I go. Deschutes, Metolius, any new river I go to, anywhere that trout swim. If you haven't tried it, now's the time. Let's tie some up. Okay, we're going to start with a Fulling Mill size 14 jig hook. I've already put on a Fulling Mill 3.8 millimeter slotted bead. I'm then going to take a little bit of 015 lead, and I'm going to kind of build an underbody. I'm going to make it a little bit heavier so the fly sinks, gives a nice taper to the fly. I'm going to put on, let's say 15 wraps on this big size fly. And what I'm going to do is kind of wrap it on, push it all under the bead, and it's going to hold that bead where I want, and it's also going to give us a little bit of taper here at the end. I'm going to use a uni thread size 6/0 olive. This is a really good thread, has great color, builds up a little bit. Normally on these small flies I'm using 8/0. But since this is going to be the body, I don't mind using a little bit bigger. It's going to take less thread wraps to get this fly built up. So I'm going to wrap back to basically where the bend is going to start. I'm then going to add a tail. My tail is going to be Coke de Leon. This is a medium Pardo, but dark Pardo works, ginger works, grizzly works. I'm going to kind of square up the tips, and I'm going to look for maybe 6 or 8 fibers. Pinch them together, and I'm going to kind of measure out my tail to make it about the same length as the body. Give it a little pinch wrap, lock it into place, and if it slid over the back, pull it forward. So about like that. And I'm going to lock it down right on top. Just like that. Now remember, this is going to be a thread-bodied fly, so you have to kind of build up a little bit of taper with the thread. Something like that. Yeah. And I'm going to then give this fly a rib. This is going to be the brassy size gold wire. This gives the fly kind of a little bit of definition for the rib, so you can see the segmentation pretty good. And I'm going to lock it in on my side and wrap it right back to the kind of tail right there. And again, remember, the thread is the body, so it's okay to be semi-liberal with the thread, giving this fly a nice taper. I'm then going to wrap the wire up, and I'm going to try to do about maybe 5 wraps if I can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So something like that. Just get this locked into place really good and just helicopter it off. So just twist it till it breaks and comes free. So that is pretty much the fly right there. We're going to give it a hot collar. This is Vivus 10/0 in the fluorescent orange, I think is what the color is called. And so I just am going to not whip finish because I'm trying to keep the fly small. I just lock in both threads with my new thread. And again, we're not trying to build up a big hump or collar here. We're just trying to lay down just a small ring of thread. Something like that. Give it a whip finish. And we're going to coat this thing with UV resin. So even if I got just a little bit of a like a 3 turn. I don't need to go crazy with like 2 5 turns or whatever, because we're going to cover this whole thing up. So first it's going to get a little wing case on top, and then we're going to coat the whole body. I like to use the black for the wing case. This is the Gulf UV. And I'm going to apply it to my bodkin. But when I do it, I'm going to do it off to the side. So if it splatters, it doesn't get all over my fly. So I just put a little drop on top there. And I don't need to use all of it. I'm just going to kind of touch it down and work it a little bit till I feel like that's kind of the right place. And if it's too much, then I'm going to just take it and smooth it back. Something like that. Yeah, so now we just have that nice kind of black wing case over the back. Hit it with my UV torch. Let it cure up really good. Then we're going to coat it with the Solar Res Bone Dry. And this stuff, if you haven't used it, is pretty awesome. So I'm going to coat it, and I'm just going to move it around with the applicator. So I'm not really touching it or anything. And you can still see that wire rib pretty good. Yeah, that looks pretty good like that. Hit it with the torch. This Solar Res Bone Dry dries crystal clear, tack-free, and is super thin. This stuff is spectacular. I love using it for these kind of flies. So that is the Mic Drop right there. This fly works great in the Euro setup or under a strike indicator or dry dropper. Tie it in every size that you want and fish it with confidence. This fly is great. I hope you guys do. Thanks.